We're Midwest Besties.
All right, welcome everybody.
Welcome to our Flyover Deep Dive on Famesick, a memoir by Lena Dunham.
So I'm going to read a little description really quickly. In this rowdy, frank reflection on illness, fame, sex, and everything in between, the remarkable mind behind the hit series Girls and the best-selling author of Not That Kind of Girl asks whether fulfilling her creative ambitions has been worth the pain.
Oh, that was a perfect description.
So Emily and I both read this. I just finished it yesterday,
So did I.
And I listened to it all the way. She narrated, which was so good.
She's such a good narrator. I did do
You
half
did the hybrid.
narration, half because I got the physical
You're
book.
so funny with your with how you hybrid listen and read.
I don't know why I like to do it.
No, I
do.
love it. I love it.
Because now I'm like, well, now I want to sit. Like, I literally at one point on Saturday, like I did my my chores, and then I'm like, okay, well, now I'm gonna stop listening to it, and now I'm gonna pick
And
up the book
physically
and
read
read
it. Yeah. I love it. Initial thoughts.
I liked it. It's obviously not a super fun romp to read.
No.
It's also not, I feel like the promotion for it
Didn't match.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, because I also maybe wasn't noticing it. I mean, I do follow her on, so when I say that her promotion on Instagram, it definitely was like take you behind the scenes of being on Girls, and it is not that at all.
No,
it is very much. But then if you read the synopsis or the back of the book, or what's actually being said about the book, is that it is it's Famesick. It is about her becoming famous and dealing with chronic illness.
Yeah.
And that is what this book is about.
Yes.
With a little bit of Girls mixed in there.
Yes. And just like what we know her for.
Yeah.
Mixed in.
Having said that, though, she is such a brilliant writer.
Oh my God,
she is such
a writer.
A voice of a generation.
I don't want to freak you out, but I think that I may be the voice of my generation. Or at least a voice of a generation.
That I enjoyed it all the way through, and I can't wait for her to keep writing.
Yeah.
Because what I will say as an overview is that Lena Dunham is getting better with age.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I loved listening to it. She is just, like we said, such a good writer, has such a way of I'm always amazed when I listen or read memoirs. I'm like, I can't remember this stuff, but I think she was like a prolific journaler.
Yeah.
So she could go back and she had like accounts of things to like help her and guide her. I just really enjoyed it. And I loved Girls. Like I watched Girls. I was a little bit engaged with Lena Dunham in that time frame, and then it got too crazy for me, and I really just like disengaged, and I was like, I'm not going to pay attention to her, because she's like, she was a lot. She was too much, one might say.
100%. Even she would say that.
She did say that. And so I never like hated her. I was just like, she would do certain things, and I was like, well, that's fucking crazy, and then I would like move on with my day.
It was really funny because I was also a fan of Girls. We are 38 years old.
Yeah.
We were literally, I think,
Girls was for us
24 when Girls came out.
Yeah.
We were literally the age of those girls. Like when that episode, the series finale ended with her like learning how to latch, I was learning how to latch.
Oh my
like
God,
that
that's
is
so
how much
beautiful.
I know how
God.
much that show mirrored my 20s.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, my 20s did not.
My 20s did not look like that at all.
But there were and that's what I loved about
elements.
Girls. Those elements, those feelings,
it's themes,
those
right?
themes, yes, that
of like
could resonate,
of becoming, of like figuring
so
it
beautifully said,
out,
yes,
and just like that looks different, but I think it feels the same for a lot of people. Oh my God, am I? Am I the voice of a generation?
You're the voice of my generation,
Or at least a voice of a generation.
And so this book did make me, I'm going to rewatch Girls. Like tomorrow, I'm going to start a rewatch of Girls.
I'm not quite there because now I feel like I would be less patient watching these like dumb little idiots.
Oh my God. It'll be a needlepoint show. Like I cannot give it my attention, and it will be sprinkled.
Yes.
You know, I don't think I could do a full binge.
Like it would make you feel sick.
But it is so fucking funny. Like it's so fucking funny.
And the acting in it is obviously
so
amazing.
Good. Yeah.
And I will rewatch it. I just don't know if I'm quite there yet.
Fair. But going back to the book, so it really starts out with, did you watch Tiny Furniture?
No.
I did. So I've seen Tiny Furniture, which was really how she got her deal with girls.
Yes.
So she did this very, very low budget film, Tiny Furniture, and she submitted it to a lot of film festivals. Sundance. And she won the, whatever, the main prizes.
It was the independent film prize.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that this prize does, you get huge opportunities.
And she
this.
did. Yeah. I mean, it catapults you.
I mean, she went from just being an indie filmmaker, being on sets, kind of just grinding it out.
She was so young.
To literally getting a call from Judd Apatow to be like, hey, write an HBO pilot.
Yeah, that got greenlit pretty much immediately. And act in it. Direct and act in it.
I think this is just such a profound story of the goose that lays the golden egg is defective.
When she talks about that,
yes.
It was really sad and really true because she kind of makes this point. So, okay. So, we're learning about her, about her rise to fame. And then she starts to talk about her health issues, of which I knew she had endometriosis. She has talked about it in the past. I knew she had Ehlers EDS, that genetic disease, because that was more of a recent thing.
Yeah.
I did not know just how unwell she was.
No.
Truly, when we say chronically ill, I mean debilitatingly ill.
And we knew she had OCD, really severe OCD.
We did know that.
Because she explored that in girls.
Yes.
But it was almost right off the bat, even in writing season 1, she had a pretty severe emotional breakdown.
Yeah.
Where she claimed
she
disassociated for days at a time. It's just so crazy to me, this great funny art that she was creating, when behind the scenes she was almost constantly battling some kind of chronic illness, stomach ache, horrible periods, constantly having cysts explode,
erupt. Going to doctors, going to ERs, getting IVs, having just so many issues.
Yeah.
And that really is the framework for this book, is her being sick and still doing but it's also it's a really hard read as a 38-year-old woman who I feel I'm in a good place in my life where I have boundaries and
oh my God.
I take care of myself, I'm not my body is a temple, but if I'm sick, I'm sick, in the way that she did not listen to her body. And she says this in the book. This is not me criticizing her. Didn't listen to her body and pushed through and medicated in ways that were totally unhealthy, was seeing shitty doctors. And a lot of this wasn't her fault either.
No.
She was very, I think, victimized by healthcare and by doctors who diminish women's pain and doctors who were misinformed. And it was really a hard read in that perspective for me.
A lot of the readers were probably Lena Dunham fans in the 2010s. Just to reiterate how booked and busy this bitch was.
Oh my God.
I think when she says in the book, taking a month off, to do nothing, she did not take a month off in that 8 years.
She was everywhere.
She was everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking Lenny Letter, but then also Random House had in her own imprint, had a podcast, had a newsletter, had a TV show, had a deal, had this deal, had that deal. And that's not even all the constant op-eds she wrote, constant articles she was writing, constant interviews she was giving. She was working nonstop when she wasn't literally on the floor in pain.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually insane that she was able to do any of it when she talks about how sick she was.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what she talks about as well are like her relationships. So she talks about her relationship with Adam Driver. I think that was like a lot of pull quotes, but I feel like he got a pretty good,
I guess for me, I didn't realize that he just was Adam from Girls.
Yeah, 100%.
And he was just extraordinarily unlikable.
Yeah.
Just like she tells the story about like he just like didn't talk to her like before and after scenes. And shout out to my cousin Joni. We were talking about this where like a lot of Lena's like critics or criticism of Lena is that she does talk out of like both sides of her mouth, where like she can be someone who like speaks up for women, but then she'll just like tell the story about how like they didn't have an intimacy coordinator and Adam really like tousled her around to the point where she felt really like he didn't do any of the things, like the fact that they blocked a love scene, and then when they hit action he just did whatever the fuck he wanted.
It was crazy to me when she talked about that, and they did not have an intimacy coordinator, and
then they just didn't exist back then.
I know, that's sick.
And then when they hit cut, she was like, wow, that made me feel really uncomfortable, but it's good. So I kind of just pushed it forward. He's a genius. Eyes.
And we knew we had this agreement that we would do whatever it took to make it good. And
that's
I was like,
dumb.
No, you decided you were going to compromise yourself for this. And that is fucking awful.
Yes.
Like that makes me so sad for you that you felt that's what you had to do. And that is a theme I think we see with her where she
again and again
does,
and again.
Yeah, like she is constantly betraying herself. You know, and it's just really sad. Like I don't know, like my heart just like broke for this girl.
This is the thing that we got out of this is that she's got a really good heart.
She does.
She's got no fucking brain. But she has a really, really big heart.
To the detriment of herself.
Yes.
You know, and so we learn a lot about her relationship with Adam Driver. She talks about the other girls. They all got really great edits. It sounds like there's a lot of love and respect there. Jemima was in Tiny Furniture with her. They were like best friends for life. So I kind of knew that. And then it's a lot about her family, specifically her parents and the relationship that they have, which
if you were looking for a definition of enmeshment,
to a degree that is unfathomable. Like but also this like really strange dynamic with like her parents being artists and her being an artist, but then I think not fully respecting the fact that she's creating like commercial art,
and just the fact that like they are living a life that they would not be able to live if their daughter wasn't bankrolling it.
Right.
And instead of like being grateful for that, and don't get me wrong, they are paying for it tenfold.
Oh my God,
how much they had to take care of their 32-year-old,
probably still to this day,
child. It's just also like she at least in her mind, she felt that it was just they were just extremely annoyed with her all the time.
Yeah.
And when they weren't annoyed with her, they were like, God, this fame is so inconvenient for us. As we're like flying to fucking Jamaica and like staying in a bungalow.
I know. It was pretty crazy. And then she also talks at length about her relationship with Jack, which honestly, like that was like throughout the whole book. She talks like that relationship with Jack Antonoff.
I was not expecting it to be either. So much.
Me either. And I'm like, are they still in contact? She kind of left it.
Because I forgot that her and Margaret Qualley were in.
I did too.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I know. Yikes. If I were Margaret Qualley and I read this book, how would you feel?
I don't know what it's like to be Margaret Qualley. I've always been, if we were going to do this, I've always been the Lena Dunham in this situation.
I would be like, we're moving out of this fucking apartment immediately.
And that is weird. That's weird that they're still in the same soulless apartment.
Still in the apartment that she and Jack bought together.
And the way she described it, it sounds like the kind of like douchey new build.
Yeah.
That
McBride and Sons in Brooklyn Heights.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. That is something she does, how unglamorous she makes being famous look.
Crazy.
It's just so funny. Like, you looked at her our age being like, Jesus, this woman is running her own show. And she was like laying on an air mattress in her parents' apartment.
It's actually insane. Like Emily and I were talking about it off pod, and I was like, it's like this weird wealthy squalor. Like she just kept talking about like mattress. Emily's like, why do we keep hearing about mattresses on the floor?
Like, why is there not a single bed frame to be found?
It's crazy. Have you heard of a box spring? Like, what's going on?
Like, when she was like healing from her hysterectomy and was like, and I laid on a mattress on the floor. Bitch, what
is going on? What is going on?
You need some support.
But then they would just like buy another apartment at the drop of a hat for her and her like junkie boyfriend at the time. Like, it was so weird. It was, rich people are fucking weird.
I mean, there's always been an element of her that makes me uncomfortable. Like in my little Midwest roots, like,
yeah. Her comfort with just like living that way and living very transiently and not having roots and like putting herself in really uncomfortable situations, like very intentionally. She taught, and like, I mean, I don't mean just emotionally, which she also does, but like actually physically, like the crazy like house that she was describing that she lived in when she first moved to LA, that like she had to walk down like a cliff and then walk back up, and she just did that. And the house was like rotting and falling apart. And I'm like, you don't have to do that.
She has no survival instincts.
She has no survival instincts. Going back to the Jack Antonoff of it all, like I felt like he got a fairly decent edit. Like I was kind of expecting like what we saw in Too Much was like, this guy's a fucking asshole.
And I guess that's what it was, where like she just like wrote all of the bad shit
she
about
got it
him
out
through Too Much.
You're like one of those guys who thinks that he wants a strong woman who loves all the bright big things about her, but you fucking don't. I used to feel so special about me.
Well, you're really, really good at turning everything into a sob story.
Because she really didn't get into any of the relationship specifics that she could have.
Oh my gosh.
Because I feel like we got a lot of Jack, but it was always in this very abstract through her illness.
Yes.
Whereas like if you watch Too Much, there is this plot line about this dog that is literally ripped from the headlines of like her and Jack adopted this dog, and then they like dropped it off at a shelter, and she got a lot of heat. And in Too Much, there's a plot line, but it's the boyfriend making her get rid of the dog.
Yeah.
You never think he's an asshole. You kind of just like, you kind of feel for him.
Yeah.
For this position that he's in.
You kind of feel for him. That's how I came off feeling with him. Like, it would be really hard to be in a relationship with her.
Oh, yeah.
Just with her health issues,
yes,
it is exhausting. But then it's also like you aren't doing what you need to do to really get well.
Exactly.
And I don't totally fault her for that, because I don't think the tools were really there for her.
No.
And then we also, at the same time, like a huge theme is her relationship with Jenni Konner, who was her partner in everything. So Jenni Konner was she a showrunner, or was she like?
No, I think she was hired to be like a script supervisor.
Okay.
Because that is what because I know about her because they were they had a podcast together called Women of the Hour that I pretty much faithfully listened to the whole thing. And she got her, I mean, she's a Nepo baby. Like, her dad is a writer.
Sure.
And she got her, like, start doing, like, punch-ups or, like, being, like, the woman. Like, they would, like, on Transformers, they hired her to be, like, how do we make it seem like these women are real in any way, shape, or form? Because they were written by men. So that's where she kind of got her start. And then she wrote for a lot of Judd Apatow's stuff, like Undeclared, which I love Undeclared.
Okay.
And Judd set her up with Lena.
Right. And so they become fast friends. And this relationship really, like, defined Lena. It defined her work. And we learn about, like, they're not just coworkers. They are, like, best friends. And what's super fucking weird about this is that Jenni is how much older than Lena?
I think 14 years.
Like, in a totally different place in her life. She has children. She's married. She has kids. Like, she has been in this industry. And so she was like
fresh off a divorce but she was married and had 2 kids.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, she's kind of Lena's like handler. Like,
yes,
like that's how I would describe it. It's like she's the seasoned one, and she's coming in and she's like, this is how we do things here, and this is what you do, and this is what I do.
There is this this way she describes it as like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. There's like, Jenni is my bestie. Jenni is someone I can depend on. She is my end all be all. Like I go to her for advice. And then she tells this story of how Lena had stopped eating because she was like super stressful, and that's a big part of her issues are her stomach issues. And HBO execs were watching the dailies and didn't like it because they wanted, she's supposed to be a little fat.
She's too skinny. It's not funny if you're skinny.
Yeah, she has to be. So like Jenni goes up to her and is essentially like, just eat, it's not that hard. And it was like this reminder of like, oh, she's not my friend, she's my handler.
Yeah.
And how do you become friends with someone who is your handler?
Well, it's like, and she says this in her book, is that she was the goose that laid the golden egg.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a good thing. They protected the goose at all costs, but not because they cared about the goose, because they cared about the egg.
Correct.
And so it's like, that is the perfect metaphor, I think, for, it was like when she was sick and she needed to go to the hospital, they were like, okay, like, do what you got to do, I guess, but get fucking back here when you can.
Yep.
And not when you should, like, not like, don't take the time that you need. Get back here when it is like humanly possible. And like she recounts like she broke her arm and she didn't get medical attention. It was like clearly broken, or broke her elbow, and she just like kept working. And then like went to the hospital. They said it. She refused to get a cast because she was acting in all of these scenes, and it was incredibly painful. And she just like kept it in a sling when she wasn't acting.
There was her uncle had died. Her uncle was on his deathbed.
Yes.
And they were like, well, I mean, there's nothing you can really do right now, so we might as well shoot all these scenes.
Yeah. And then she missed him.
And again, like, this is how TV is made. Like, no one said this industry is like a good and kind industry. But I think where Jenni Konner comes in is like this weird guise of a friendship.
Yeah.
When there was no friendship.
No.
This was all about
it was
exploiting
transactional
her.
for
Yes.
Jenni. Jenni was getting what she wanted out of Lena, and she was doing it under the guise of friendship, and she was
With
acting
a much
like
younger person.
with a much, like, she was exploiting her.
Yes.
And she was just taking advantage of her, and Lena was too young, too green and inexperienced to be able to see that. And I think she can see that now, obviously, with hindsight and with being older and with working with girls the age that she was. And it is like sickening. So Jenni Konner gets the absolute worst fucking read.
100%.
But honestly, in such a way that is very just like Lena sort of like laying out facts. Like, I texted Emily while I was reading this, and I was like, this woman's a fucking monster. And I was like, I know there are two sides to every story, but like, I cannot get over the age gap of it all.
And don't get me wrong, I think we both are. We don't think that she is a monster because she was hard on her or didn't care about her illness or family deaths when there is a TV to be made. Like, that's the business.
Yeah.
I have a problem with her being her friend and constantly being like, you're my soulmate.
It's slimy.
Yes.
Yeah. And acting like she was her best friend. It's fucking
Yes.
weird to
Yes.
be an older person and like make your, like, a child your best friend. Like, I think that's fucking weird. I also just feel like as a 38-year-old woman, like, I have experienced relationships like that. And like looking, not obviously in the same way, but like the same, like a similar shade of that. And I now, I would never do that.
No.
I would never, ever do that.
Like using, like, no, withholding friendship, withholding love, unless Lena
She would ice
gets
her out.
Jenni more money on an HBO contract.
She, after Girls, this was something she talks about, was that Lena was immediately offered another deal. They both were together, and Lena was offered more money, which she deserved, to be clear. And Jenni went to Lena and was like, we need to get the same pay. And Lena was like, okay. So she went back to them, and they were like, the money isn't changing, but your cut will change. If you want her to get as much as you, she'll get more and you'll get less, is basically what it was. And Jenni wouldn't speak to her, was icing her out. And then when Lena finally decided, like, okay, like, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna hold out until we get the same amount of money, then Jenni was like, effusive with her again. Like, it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
It was so manipulative.
And again, there are two sides to every story. You could talk to this woman and she could be like, I never iced her out. I don't know what she's talking about. Like, I'm a mom and I had shit to do. And this woman was so needy. That is a huge possibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole dynamic of their friendship was weird.
Was super dysfunctional. Yeah. So, so they end up having a huge, like, a friend breakup.
Yeah.
Like, at kind of the very end, where it's like they were doing this show together, camping.
It was a mini series, but it was really bad.
But Lena was barely there because she was like in rehab, which, like, it was interesting. She talks about that she was addicted to Klonopin because a doctor got her, basically, like, prescribed her 4 milligrams of Klonopin 4 times a day. So she was just like fucking
high,
cooked out of her mind, so addicted to these drugs, and really spiraling. Her health was not improving, and then it finally got to the point where it was like, I have to go to rehab. And it took her, I think, a long time to even admit, like, I'm an addict, like, I need to go to rehab, because the intentions behind it were so different, and because, like, it was, and this is unfortunately something that happened. I mean, watch Dope Sick, like, all the time, still happens all the time. Is it like this? She's like, I was taking this medication as prescribed.
Yep. So you don't want to frame yourself as a drug addict.
Yeah.
She wrote that
she did.
Beautiful.
I thought she did a really good job,
because it is a reality for a lot of people. It was
a devastating reality.
And it was, I just think she painted it really accurately.
Yeah. Like, the nuance of it.
And
how, like, that conflicted she even felt.
And I think also just the importance of her admitting that she's a drug addict in order to get better.
Yeah.
Like, she has this
because she finally did
line that was like, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, we are from insanely different backgrounds, but the one thing we have in common is that we fucking love drugs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And that, I was just like, oh my God, I like highlighted it. It was just really profound. And there's a lot of profound nuggets throughout all of this.
She talks about being so chronically ill and, like, getting a diagnosis for EDS, and that it's a genetic disease. And there's not a ton of answers out there because it's more of, like, a newer diagnosis.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not a chronically ill person, but I would hope and think that, like, for people who are chronically ill, that, like, this would put, like, voice to that a little bit, of just, like, of moving through life, having to move through life in a way where, like, you don't know, like, what tomorrow is going to look like for you. And, like, how she talks about, she's like, there wasn't a city I spent more than 2 days in that I didn't have an OB. And she also talks a lot about fertility, which was devastating. Yes. Like, I had no idea, which why would I? But, like, she really always knew she wanted to be a mom. Like, that was, like, very much, like, from when she was little, it was like, I'm going to have a child and I'm going to be pregnant and I want to be pregnant.
And she really didn't, and I could be wrong, but because I remember her reading the article about her deciding to have a hysterectomy. Yeah. Because basically no doctor is going to tell you to have a hysterectomy before you have kids. Like,
and she talks about that.
None of her doctors are telling her this. So it was, like, up to her, and it was, like, this awkward decision.
She had to, like, fight for it.
She had to fight for it.
She went into the ER and was like, I am not leaving until I get a hysterectomy, and had to go through, like, psych evaluations and talk to, like, multiple doctors, and, like, a committee of doctors had to meet and decide if it was medically necessary. And it really also just, like, speaks to women's healthcare and how, like, our agency is over our body is not respected, because
certainly not our reproductive health.
Because, like, we can be a vessel for life. And so it's like, that is something that, like, we will protect at all costs. And what is that cost? And she's saying, this cost is too high for me.
So she really talked a lot about that when it came out, of like, this, like, I had to beg to have a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
But and maybe she just wasn't there yet to talk about the loss of her fertility.
Yeah.
Probably because she couldn't. Because if she were to whisper about her loss of fertility,
probably like arrest her.
They wouldn't have given her the
She'd
hysterectomy.
like literally be in jail.
Yes.
But that just speaks to like she was in so much pain, and that felt like an answer.
And as women, we can't live in both of those planes.
Right.
Of like, I can't live in agony all the time if there is a solution. If it means losing my fertility, if I absolutely maybe wanted to be a mom a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's like you can live in those two areas.
Yes. She talks about trying to freeze her eggs, and that was unsuccessful, which was really sad. But then also her coming to this realization that like she can't take care of a child because of how sick she is.
Yeah.
And like how painful that was for her. And just, it was just really, I feel like we're talking about only the sad stuff, but a lot of this book was sad. I think she's been through some really hard shit.
It's a sad book.
It's sad. But I think there was a lot of like learning in that.
And a lot of hope.
And it led her to her husband, which we really didn't get a lot into in this book. And she didn't talk at all about Too Much, which I kind of wanted her to, but I think she wrote this before.
And remember, Too Much was written by her husband as well.
Right.
So all of the stuff with the main male character, that is from his perspective.
Yes, which I love.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Too Much on Netflix,
it's so good.
It's a one season. That's all it's going to be, which I personally love. Meg Stalter plays who Lena Dunham would be. And then who is the guy? I love him. He's been in other things. Look up his name. But Lena is also in it. She plays the sister, and then Andrew Rannells from Girls is also in it, and he's amazing always.
I forgot that he plays
her husband. Rita Wilson is in it.
Will Sharp plays Felix.
He's so good. I love him. He was in White Lotus. That's what he was in.
Yeah.
With Aubrey Plaza that season. I want to say like season 2. Season 2. And he was so different from his White Lotus character, but so good. I loved him.
He was so good. And Meg Stalter is like the perfect vessel for Lena Dunham writing.
She's perfect.
Because I think she is just naturally funnier than Lena Dunham
just like
is.
Kooky.
So she just was so hilarious.
She was so hilarious. Yeah, it was a really good show. I would highly recommend. Anything else you want to say?
So are we recommending this book?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like this book for millennials will bring a lot of closure to the Lena Dunham of it all.
I completely agree.
Because she did just fall off the face of the earth.
You did such a good job critiquing that. Like I was like basically just like, yeah. But like the way you pulled that out, like, you need to write this down. That was just so well done.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, we would absolutely recommend. Like I said, I loved listening to it. Emily did the hybrid version. However you want to get your media, we support it, baby.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us on this Flyover Deep Dive.
Our second Besties Who Read Books.
Besties
we love it.
Who Read Books.
Let us know what you think, and let us know if you read it. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Yes, please. All right,
Okay,
bye-bye.
bye.